Page 88, Etude in A minor. Guess what key this is in, huh? At the top of the page, they're giving you a little idea about how to find the relative minor of any major key. Remember, the relative minor is the minor key that uses the same key signature. It's related by key signature. So C major has no sharps or flats. A minor has no sharps or flats. Well, how do you know it's A minor? Well, first off, I think you just need to know the scales, because that'll tell you what the key signature is, and you can know real quick. But the mental calculation I do in my head, it got me all through the music theory in college, and I still do it today, because I don't memorize all of these. I know what the key signatures are for all the major keys, and that's by knowing the scales. And I just quickly calculate what the relative minor is if I need it. I still do that today. Even though I know all the minor scales, it's just easier for me to calculate it. And I use the method they show at the top of page 88 to do that. And it's simply going down 3 half steps from the major key. So a C is here. Remember half steps, the next note, white or black. So there's 1, 2, 3. A minor is the relative to C major. It's 3 half steps down. They all work that way. I could be here. Here's a B flat. If I want to know the relative minor key to the key of B flat major, I go down 3 half steps. 1, 2, 3. G minor is the relative minor to B flat major. They all work, and I still I can do it in my head real quick, because I can picture a keyboard in my head, and I can just very quickly go down 3 half steps. And I'm so used to the 3 half step thing, it gets pretty easy after a while, after a long while, but it gets easier. And they give you the examples of F major, go down 3 half steps, 1, 2, 3, D minor. Each of those, F major and D minor, have 1 flat in the key signature. For G major, well, it's 1, 2, 3. E minor and G major have 1 sharp. That's the way it works. Something to keep in mind. This is in A minor, it's in the title. A lot of eighth notes, a lot of running eighth notes. It's a good time, hopefully you've been doing the A minor scale, because this will help you. Knowing these scales helps so much in being able to play all these running passages evenly and under control, really. You'll have to go fast, but it has to be controlled. So, one hand at a time, let's make sure we just got all the fingering and everything worked out. Starting here, it's a 4/4 time, 1 and 2 and just in a 5-finger position until you get to the end of the second line. Let's skip the note, and then here. Here, and you're staying there until you get over to measure 9 on page 89. During the rest, you come up to C position. Now we're in C major, the related major key to the minor. The measure 11, you come down 1 key, you got a measure or a beat rest. You do this, and then you come down another one for measure 13. You're back in A minor again. Left hand, well, you just got this broken chord pattern. Remember this good old Alberti bass, you just gotta love it. The 5/7 chord. Just the primary chords for A minor. It's the 1, 4, and a 5/7. They're not really using the 4 chord, but they could have, but it's okay, it's 5/7. And then for measure 9, you're in the C major, so now you're using the primary chords for C major. So measure 10, you're here, and then measure 11, you got this. And this one, you gotta love it. Well, again, it's a G sharp. We're getting ready to go back into A minor, so the G sharp sort of makes sense, because that's a note in the harmonic minor, that's it. So it's here. Now, if you got big hands and fat fingers and this doesn't work for you, then you're going to have to use little finger on the D and go here, here, and then for the next measure 13, just come down here and then thumb, and you're back where you were. That works too. It's up to you on the finger. Find a fingering where you can play it all legato, all connected, and that works for you. Put the hands together. You're starting out. Just make sure those eighth notes are controlled and even and smooth. Let's go over to page 89. You're finishing measure 10 here. During the rest, come down with here, and then for the left hand, depending on how you're going to finger it, just and that just as slow as you got to go, but it needs to be a steady beat. Get rid of the hesitations. And then when you can do that, we can add the phrasing. Now, as far as lifting up between the phrases in this piece, it's easy because you got a quarter rest all over. So you got to lift up anyway, but keep the left hand legato. Keep it connected. You see at the beginning, underneath the staff there, it says legato. That's for the left hand. It's just telling you to play the left hand connected throughout. I'd do it anyway, but okay. Then the dynamics, that applies to the right hand. That's the melody. The left hand needs to be soft, or very soft, excuse me. So whatever you think soft is, measure 4, you have an accent come up just a little bit for that one note. Just the right hand. Soft. Then on measure 8, you come down. Well, that's soft, it's going to die away anyway. So just make the left hand very soft. Can you die away there real soft? And then a rest for both. Now you're soft again, but that's the right hand. The left hand's very soft. Measure 11, come up a little bit to moderately soft in the right hand. Keep the left hand very soft. A little louder. Now the right hand's moderately soft. You get sort of soft in the left. And then come down to very soft. Then you'd repeat that all. You see the repeat signs on page 89, so you can play the last 3 lines twice. Speed-wise, well, it's an etude. How fast can you play it accurately? This is not a fast etude, but it has to be. I suggest when you play this slowly, it's like I'm doing the scales. I'm going to put a little accent on each beat, and I'm going to drop the wrist on each beat. That's just for practice. I don't want to put accents on them throughout, but right now I'm just doing that. Here, throughout all of these eighth notes, I'm going to do that. And then as I speed it up, I can accent maybe every 2 beats. I'm going to drop the wrist on the accents. Here, if I speed it up a little more, maybe I'll just accent at the beginning of each measure. Forth, it's a way of working it up. Now that's too fast for this etude. That would be a little more of a fast. See, the speed they give isn't the beat. It's the overall flow of the piece. So these eighth notes, this is moderate here. For what is moderate to you for eighth notes? And that's how fast it would go. Something like this, I think. Warning on the left hand. You're used to doing this Alberti bass with bottom, top, middle, top. Doesn't have to be. You can start with the middle. The point is you're just alternating this, because when you get over to on page 89, on measure 13, it switches. You are doing that. And then you're back to the regular. So watch out on that. They threw you a curve there. They do that sometimes. Now, as far as the dynamics go, experiment with the dynamics go. It's like the beginning. I'm not going to stay soft through all of that. I want to get a little louder and soft. Experiment with it. I crescendo there. It's like you're flowing a little bit. It doesn't say anything I can do, pretty much. I got to stay in the soft area. But I can get a little louder and softer as you experiment with it. Don't, just because you go up, get loud. I mean, a lot of times you will, but that doesn't, it doesn't have to be there. I can go get softer as I go up. So you experiment. But when I get repeating things like measure 3, I tend to wants to flow, so I tend to crescendo just a little bit. It's just how you interpret the music, how you feel it. You got to get to know it well enough that you're not thinking about notes and rhythms, but then you get into it and you start feeling a little bit. And you get a little out louder and you make it music. It's not note, 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 note. I'll give us 4 counts. Let's do this together slowly. 1 and 2 and ready and go and 1. Rest. Rest. Repeat. Rest. Rest. Rest.